it German buns or German buns? I didn't think I was Samoan enough. I waited 35 years to give myself permission to go home. And nobody was telling me I couldn't go. It was me.
You have space here. It's not taking up space. It's just making room for you. You are who you are, and no one can take that away. Our whole mission is to uplift not only our own islands, but all islands.
If my generation is trying to grasp those recipes right now, imagine what the next generation is going to have to try and grasp.
We all find our own ways to be connected to our culture.
When we met, it was this instant, I get it, and you get it. We can do it together. And so it was a fast, deep friendship.
I don't have to explain it, you just get it. It's a soul sister, soul sungai.
Wamai, and welcome back to Dear Suga. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm Nan Heui Kim, and this is a space where we have meaningful conversations with Pacific women and people helping shape our communities through their work, their stories, and their live experiences. Today, I have two amazing, incredible women out here in SoCal with Pacific roots, Maia Valluri and Mackenzie Faumuina Rubish. Although each has her own unique journey, what I admire is how they've chosen to build alongside one another. And so that's one of the reasons why I thought this was going to be a great conversation, especially since July 30th is all about friendship. I hope this is something I always do with all my guests. So maybe introduce yourself, who you are, and what you hope someone listening in can take away from our conversation today.
Hi, my name's Maia Valluri. I also go by Maia, but I've just shortened it to Maia. My mom is from the island of American Samoa, and she moved here and had me. So I am American born. So I am mixed Caucasian and Samoan, living here in San Diego. I really want to impart everybody with a message that you can be involved as many ways as you want. You can be as involved or as little involved, and giving permission. I feel like as women, we take a step back sometimes and we watch and make sure are we allowed to do these things. Some of us do, especially I do myself. And I want to impart with people that you have space here. It's not taking up space. It's just making room for you. So if you want to join, please join. We have a lot of fun. And what's more important than learning your own culture, trying to excel in any way you can, and just having fun along the way.
I love that. My name is Mackenzie Faumuina Rubish. I am also in Southern California, San Diego area. My father was born in Lailoloa, American Samoa. I am also half Caucasian, so Maya and I are both, afakasi, and we're both moms, and we're both navigating this world of being Samoan and American. And I think the biggest thing that I would want anybody to leave with from this podcast is Pasifika women are so strong, and we are only stronger when we can lift each other up. And as women in this new generation navigating the world of trying to hold on to our culture, but also trying to raise the next generation in a very fast-paced world, is just knowing that there are other women around you that are feeling the same way, to reach out, and you have that support system. And I think this right here, this is evidence of that. So never think that you're alone or you're not the only one feeling something, that there's a village, there's a tribe, you got it, reach out.
Thank you for sharing that. I think this is one of the wonderful things because I've started Dear Suga, beginning with my close friends and family. Then I'm getting to meet amazing women. Maia, you stumbled on Dear Suga, and I guess I'm curious as to what part of Dear Suga that you loved and what made you think that it was a platform for you and Mackenzie.
So I'm always looking on Instagram. I should also say that I do the media and marketing for the Pacific Islander Festival Association, and also a part of the Samoan Association of San Diego. And so I'm always online looking for more women, more people to connect with, and more stories. And I remember hearing about Sabrina, who was advocating against deep sea mining. And I wanted to know more information about her. And I remember I texted Mackenzie and I was like, have you heard of Sabrina? And my sister knew of her. And so I was trying to find more information, and I stumbled upon your podcast with her. And I love the conversations that you were having, how you were just giving each other space and room to really discuss topics that a lot of people tend to shy away from. And when I was researching and looking at other videos and other content you were making, I loved the space that you were holding. And I thought this is a great opportunity just to have discussions and meet more people. I've been a part of PIFA now. This will be about 3 or 4 years as a volunteer, 2 years on the board. And my favorite part about it is just making connections because that's really what is driving our whole community forward is just connecting with others. So when I saw yours, I was like, I'd love to connect with her. And I know if I loved you, Mackenzie would love you. And I feel like we just drag each other wherever we go in this space.
Mackenzie, with Maia pitching you this idea of coming on this small little podcast, what made you decide to be like, okay, let's do this together?
It was never a question. Like if Maya goes, let's do this, I'm like, okay, when? Like Maya said, like we drag each other around. We're like, ooh, coffee. Ooh, let's go get lunch. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Like there is absolutely no hesitation whatsoever. And Maya, gosh, we've only known each other for what, a year
A
coming up
year,
on a
not
year.
even a year. Yeah.
I'll speak for myself, but it feels like I've known Maya forever. And I think because a lot of what I feel and what I have struggled with my identity and stuff like that, with being Pacifica and being Samoan, I see in her as well. So the minute I met Maya, there was this complete understanding that I am not alone in this world. It was just so easy. And she's a mom of girls. We're both trying to raise little girls in this world with very bright personalities.
I also want to go back to like the title of the show. Like I feel like Mackenzie's my Sunga. So I was like, oh, this would be fun. This is perfect. This is exactly who we are to each other as well.
I laugh because growing up, Sunga was always like what my sister would yell at me, like Sunga. Like it was always like, oh, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. But it's like, no, it's a happy word.
It's both ways, right? I felt like it expands generation. When you think Tainit, it's usually someone younger. And I'm like, I am not a spring chicken. I think Sunga transcends to age. So that's the reason for it. So you both met last year, which is also interesting because studies show that it's harder for women to find friends. And so I'm curious as to what your perspectives are regarding that.
I would have to agree. My backstory is my mom's military. So we would move every 4 to 5 years. So for me, it was always difficult. Like I would always have to start over. And so after a while, I was like, I know what I like. I know what I don't like. And so I was kind of fine with not always being like the friendliest person. But ever since I moved here in 2020 with my husband, and then we were expecting, and I had no friends here, it was through my family I started trying to connect and branch out and reach other people. And then also trying to find my space within the own community here. I felt like it has gotten easier and harder. I think it's easier now to be friendly and to make quick friendships. I have a lot of mom friends, and we also have this really easy understanding of our kids come first, our family comes first. When we can, we'll meet up. And it's a beautiful, like, I don't want to call it superficial, but it's a very beautiful level of friendship. But those deep levels of friendship, I feel like are very difficult to form because you truly need time with somebody to form that. And like what Mackenzie was saying earlier, when we met, it was this instant, I get it and you get it. We can do it together. And so it was a fast, deep friendship. So I would agree that yes, it's difficult, but somehow we made it through.
Yeah, I would agree. So one, we're busy. We work 9 to 5s. We're moms. We have crazy schedules. So finding time for those deep friendships is hard. I have friends that I have grown up with. I have friends that I've made through work. I have friends that I've made through my children. But my friendship with Maya has been made because of me and who I am. And I think that's where the connection was instantly deep because it was a friendship I formed based on myself and who I am as a person versus because I met them through our children go to school together. Now we're friends. Oh, our husbands play pickleball together. Now we're friends. It's no, it's like I made friends because I am me, she is she, and then we look at each other and we're like I don't really have to introduce her to the way my family is and the craziness and our level of, I could just be like, come over and she gets it. She's like, yeah, my family's the same. I totally get it. So even my husband to this day is like, what's a chihu? And I'm like, okay. I'm still having to explain to him what that is, but I don't have to explain that to Maya. So that is like 20 plus years of friendship that's just been, it's just there. She just gets it. Yeah, it's just easy. And everybody wants easy. At some point in their
Yeah.
life, they want the easy. And Maya, I love you. And it's like that is the friendship that is just it's like a soul one. It's a soul sister, soul sunga. It's just yeah.
So what is that one conversation that when you first met each other, like, yeah, You get me.
First time we met was a PIFA event. It was the Taste of the
Mhm.
Pacific, and she was coming on to be our guest host. And I had never heard of her before. It wasn't until one of our board of directors reached out to me to start the media marketing plan for it. She was like, "We have some great hosts. We have Hula Ramos, wonderful personality from San Diego. He brought on Mackenzie, and she was like, and she's Samoan. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, I can't wait to look up more about her. So I researched her, and I was like, I love her already. She seems amazing and cool. I remember like making all this stuff, like promoting her, and I was tagging her, and she was accepting them right away. And I was like, okay, she's on board. That's cool. And then when we met in person, I remember she came on stage, she introduced us, and I remember going up to her, and I was like, hi. I'm also Samoan and I'm white. And she goes, oh, me too. And so I think right away it was there. We were just talking, and then you Mackenzie brought her sister, and we were just having a nice little like discussion between us. And I think Mackenzie, you said, I think it was this at this event, you said, I want to go back home. And I was like, oh, let me know. You'll stay with my sister. You're going to stay with my family. Like, let me know. My family is your family. And I think from then, it was always like a welcoming space between the two of us.
Yeah, that was something that I haven't felt in a really long time. That family is my family type of thing. I'll be frank, being afakasi and being Samoan in San Diego is not easy. If you don't look it, if you don't play the part, I have said this to Maya time and time again. It is a very, how Samoan are you? I don't speak the language. I used to dance. I have a t-shirt now because I went there. But before, like I didn't wear the outfit but I am Samoan, and it took me a really long time to get to that headspace where I don't need to show proof on a physical manner, like, oh, I have to speak and walk, and is it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck? And it's like, well, no, I sometimes I don't want to do that, and so Maya gave me the space to say, yeah, girl, you're Samoan. Like, you don't have to look it, speak it, anything. And I saw so much of myself in her. And I, all of a sudden, this window of permission, this like breeze. And it was like, hell yeah, I'm Samoan. Okay, let's do this. Like, and the fact that she's like, yeah, come to Samoa, stay with my family. And I'm like, I could do that? Like, I'm allowed to go back to the island? Like, okay. So, and we did it. There was no, like, we pushed the pedal to the metal ever since we met that day. And we've already done it. Everything that we say we're going to do, we do it. And we tell our husbands, like, we're going, see ya.
Oh,
And my husband loves Maya because he's like, who are you going with? Maya? Okay.
I thought you had been friends for quite a long time. It's refreshing. You can actually know people for so long and still not know them. And so
Yeah.
that's another layer because now you're telling me not only did you just meet last year, but you both traveled to Samoa.
yes.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. We just went in April of this year.
Yeah, about 2 months ago.
That's so cool. For Dear Suga, I hope to kind of establish that in the future, like a
Come with us.
community of women. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
down.
room.
Yeah.
There's room at my auntie's house.
I'm at that point where life is too short. Unfortunately, my dad passed away when he was young and healthy. And life is short. And I waited 35 years to give myself permission to do this trip. Yet the only thing that I held back was myself.
Mm.
And nobody was telling me I couldn't go. It was me. I did this to myself because I didn't think I was Samoan enough to go home. And the minute I landed, I have never felt so welcomed by an island of people. And I think that is what I miss the most is the people. Like, I thought I was going to be over the top and annoying to them, but they were like so loving, so unbelievable. It is such a different world. And I think for any islander, not just Samoan, for any Pacific Islander who has not been home, do not let your experience here dictate what your experience over there is going to be. So go there, whether it's in Hawaii or Guam or the Philippines, Samoa, Tahiti, Fiji, like go and just experience the people and what they have to offer. I was ready to buy land the minute we left. I was like, how do I build a house? How do I get like a hut? I don't care.
Do it. So, what was like, this is the first thing we're going to do when we get there?
Oh my goodness. It was such a fun trip. I remember when we were planning this, we were like, here's all the things that I would love to show you. We went during Flag Day because it's such a huge occasion. We wanted, to go at the biggest, the craziest, the most fun. And I actually haven't done Flag Day since I was in 5th grade. This is in American Samoa.
I think that's
So
like the
when
best time to go is Flag
it
Day.
was so much fun because I actually had never seen the Fautasi races before. I remember like participating when I was younger. We did the Flag Day dancing and for my school. So when we went, I was like, Mackenzie, all food based. We've got to go to Sadie's. We've got to go to Tisa's. We've got to go get the German buns. I remember just making a list of all the places we have to go eat. We were also doing filming there for food as well as the cultural aspect. So I think I just showed her the whole island. So the idea was to film a lot of the food, the cultural food part of it. And so I was trying to be like, well, what do I remember growing up eating? And my sister still lives there. So I was like, what is your favorite food? And so we were making like this hit list of where do we have to go in these days. And we actually kept our itinerary pretty open before we got there. And when we got there, it organically filled up with a lot of people who wanted to meet us or more places people were recommending for us to go and to try. And there wasn't one place other than I think Mackenzie just was like, we got to go to bingo. We gotta go to we've gotta we've gotta do these certain things.
We filled every day with
Yeah.
something. There was never, I think there was maybe one day we got to like nap, but that's only because we were
Uh,
going out at night.
Yeah.
oh, so how did that feel like in terms of being mothers that are always on a schedule doing that and then vacation type of life?
Me and Maya, we roll the same. There was never a moment besides locking your aunt out of her house by accident. There was never a moment where we were just like over it. I would have extended my trip if I could have. I would have called the husband and be like, I'm taking another week. Or I wish I would have brought my work computer. I'm like, I can work remotely, right? No, it was just easy. We went with the flow. I'm ready to go back already.
You sound like you're just like, I don't want to be there. I just want to go.
Yeah, I want to take my oldest, so we'll see.
That sounds really cool and fun.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about having to record. So I'm assuming this has to do
Mm.
with Pacific Culinary Project that you're creating. So are these videos going to be out soon? And what was the purpose behind all of the recording?
Yeah, so we have this thought of filming my journey going back home and reconnecting with culture and finding my connection and highlighting all the amazing food that Samoa has to offer that is not being promoted or passed down to the next generation. Because even I have struggled finding recipes and people to teach me, and that's the journey I'm on is to make sure that we don't lose these traditional food techniques like the umu and all of that. So we were going to originally go over and film the documentary, but then we thought, you know what? We need to go and just be present. We need to go and interact with the island. And so for 2 days, we brought on two amazing filmographers to get B-roll. And one day we spent it at Flag Day to highlight American Samoa, and we visited the food stalls there. And we ended up going to the Gurr family farm, and we went fishing. Like that wasn't even part of the plan, but it was so fun. And then the second day, we did a whole umu and how to scrape the coconut, and I had never done that. These are things that I
Nice.
know nothing about. And I want to bring these skills back home and teach the next generation, but also be able to bring the diaspora, our next generation, back to the islands, just how I've experienced it. So the filming is with my good friend Tyler Whitbread. He's scrubbing it and going through it. The plan is to put together a sizzle reel and get it out to production and try and get some production money behind it to film the big thing, but also probably put it up on YouTube. There's some options. It keeps evolving, which I love. And obviously, we started in American Samoa because that is our home, but it is something that I would like to travel throughout the Pacific Islands to highlight. And the reason why I started the nonprofit was because I myself started on this journey for me. And then the more people I met, they were like, oh, I've always wanted to learn that too. Why don't we have this? I wish I would have learned from my aunt, but she passed away. I'm like, oh, that's the same thing with my dad. So I started a nonprofit so we could raise money, get some workshop and cooking classes together, take students back and even adults, like even myself. I'm 40 years old and I waited all this time and I finally went home. It's like these are paths and journeys that I want to take other people on.
I love the conversation. And I saw recently on social media Henry Onesemo, who owns Tala, just won the
Yeah,
Michelin
yeah.
star. And
Mhm.
so I think it's a great idea because food is always something that connects all of us. I might not be able to go somewhere, but I can experience a culture through food. And so I love that you're creating this opportunity. I sometimes forget that just because I grew up in American Samoa and moved out here to California. I meet people who haven't been to Samoa in so long. And so it's a great opportunity to also connect to your roots. You get to really experience techniques that you find in Samoa. So I guess when I hear the word culinary, I just think very high end. And us Pacific Islanders, we're like barbecue here, and it's like soul food. So when I heard culinary, I was like, is this for me?
Culinary is kitchen, culinary is the space of food. I think a lot of people, myself included, we forget how much culture exists in food. We also forget food is just always there. Growing up, Samoan food, people gathering, people bringing food, it was always a no-brainer. Like there's always food. Food just always exists, no matter what gathering we were having, whether it was last minute or planned. And then all of a sudden, life passes on and we're at a certain age and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to make chop suey. I don't know how to make this. Who can still teach me? My aunties would always shoo me out of the kitchen, but they were always ready to feed me. They were always fixing the plates, making sure us kids were fed. But by the time I was the age where I was able to help and ready to learn, nobody was around to teach me. I don't want the next generation to lose out on that because it's already fading. So if my generation is trying to grasp those recipes right now, imagine what the next generation is going to have to try and grasp onto. And especially for those that are born here in the States, we don't have access to a lot of the traditional foods that are in Samoa, like taro leaves. Maya and I, we went on a scavenger hunt in San Diego one day. I texted her and said, hey, you and me, coffee, iced coffee, let's go find taro. So we
And it's
drove around.
expensive.
It is, and
Mhm.
sometimes they're not the best. Like can be a little wilty, and then you
Hmm.
gotta buy how many just to make one palusami. So yeah, it's being able to understand the skill, teach the skill, and then promote the skill. So I bought a bench off of Amazon and a scraping kit, and I made my own coconut scraping bench. I made the husband saw pieces of it. I still got to tweak it a little bit, but we just had our first coconut scraping event and it went
Yes.
amazing.
I'm sorry to miss it. And I'm looking forward to the upcoming events, which we will definitely talk about. Since we're talking about Samoan food, what's that one Samoan food that draws back that nostalgic memory of something from your childhood or anything? What would that be for you, Maya?
Oh, for me, there's a lot I would go for on the table, but my biggest nostalgic are German buns. I have such a vivid memory so my family, I grew up in Ili Ili, and we would drive out to Fonkongo to stop by my great grandmother's house on the way to Awasi to take care of my great grandfather's house. So in Fonkongo, they used to have this bakery there, and we would always go there for the fresh German buns. It's no longer there, and I'm so sad about it because it was the fluffiness, the jam, it was like unreal. And I remember all of my cousins, we would sit in the back of the pickup munching on them on the way to the east side. And when we went back, I was like, Mackenzie, we got to find it. And it was good, but it wasn't what I remembered. So I'm really hoping one day that I will try to make my own perfect German buns.
We'll do it together.
Yes, and Mackenzie's going to help me because she has
Let's
to.
do that. I'm still trying to figure out though, is it German buns or jammin buns?
I've
I
Okay.
always
think
known
it's
it to be
German.
German buns.
I think it came from a German guy. I think that, they had German settlers who came over to Western Samoa and some.
Okay, people watching this, we need to know. Take a poll.
I think this is a great conversation because German buns in Upolu is so different from the German buns in American Samoa because they're
Really?
smaller. There's like coconut inside and they're much more
Ooh.
bigger. And so,
I've
yeah,
had
Okay.
those, but the jam ones are better.
yeah, German buns are definitely one of my go-to in the mornings. So, about yourself, Mackenzie?
So our next trip is Western Samoa. Okay, so I have two. I have like my nostalgic one that I grew up with, and then I have like my new favorite after visiting the island. So like growing up, it's puligi. That was like one of my first introductions, and I still to this day make it. And I use my dad's recipe, my dad's pot, and it's something I hold dear to my heart. And then one thing that I couldn't get enough of on the island, I think we went to Sadie's, I think 3 or 4 times, and I got the same thing every time. But it's the fa'i, like with the coconut
Mhm.
cream, just like straight up banana. It's so hard to find really good green bananas here. I'm at the point where I need to call Sprouts or Albertsons to be like, look, do you have any green bananas in the back? Because, man, with the fa'i, with the oka, I haven't made oka yet. It's on my list.
You know Steven and Sons, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm saying if you guys want some real good Samoan food, we have it here on our end, Steven and
Yeah,
Sons.
we talked
Road
about
trip.
making a trip. We did go to the one in Nu'uli on the way. I still think it has the best chop suey. So I need to see if the one here is just as good as the one back home.
Road trip. We'll meet with Nan. We'll have a follow-up.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
should.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Mine? Oh gosh, I have too many to name, but if German buns is one of your biggest things, so when I'm in Samoa, sausage rolls in Samoa is one of my favorites. You were talking about bingo, and the only thing I could think of was Valupal V. So a V, it looks like a pear and an avocado put together. So they scrape it, and you can actually do lihimui on there, or it's like a jicama.
Ooh.
It looks like a mango, but then you can make it into this like salad. I don't know how do you call it. Not the expert food here, so
I'm still learning.
and when it comes to food, that's the thing about Samoa. You can go on and on about food.
Well, the one thing that I love too about it is that people go head to head on like what chop suey is the best, and that's the conversation that I love because every family does it different, and like you could have 80 different versions. So I was like, I even made the joke. I'm like, we have like chili cook off. You need to have the sapasui off, and like
I was just gonna say that.
Okay.
I'm like, we need to have a competition. I will judge. I just want
Is that going to be part of this year's PIFA?
Maybe we can bring that up. I know we talked about doing like a masubi competition, like who can do the most
Oh.
creative, like not just spam, but like what other kind. We've talked about that because so many foodies on the board too. We also talked about like a spam off, like what can you make with spam? Something that I love that I've talked with Mackenzie about is like one dish, but it's made from the different islands. Like which one's the best? Like there's different versions of pancake. I've tried some because people will bring them to board meetings, and I'm like, who made this? And they're like, oh, it's a tomorrow dish. And I'm like, that's pancake. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's like chop suey. In Hawaii, it's like chicken long rice, right?
Yeah.
Are we making ideas here for?
Yes. I think it's doing like food events. I'm fine with that.
Food will never tire.
Yes.
If there's one thing that everybody has in common, it is a love for food, like I build vacation around food.
Yes. For me personally, I have to have someone who's a foodie and likes food because I do. But here's the thing about me. I enjoy cooking, but I can't bake for my life.
I can't do either, so we make the perfect trifecta.
Perfect.
I eat.
I love it.
So I'm going to draw us back to the Pacific Island Festival here in San Diego. I know it's one of the biggest festivals out here in the US. So maybe can you give us a little bit of the history behind it and what's the mission behind I don't know if it's a nonprofit because you do more than just festivals.
Yeah, it is a nonprofit. It has been around this would be a 32nd year. It's been around for a while. It started when the Hokulea came to San Diego, and the collective group of the Hawaiian, Samoan, and Chamorro communities came together, and they say we wanted to do like a little festival to welcome them. And it really just took off from there. There was such a big want and need of it. They started in Embarcadero Park, which is where the famous kissing statue is in downtown San Diego. And it's just gotten bigger and bigger. And now I think we are the largest Pacific Islander festival in the United States. We get over 150,000 people, and it's 2 days long. It's over 900 performers, over like 60 different vendors. I think it's just a huge celebration of pride coming from the Midwest, where now I'm seeing that they're doing festivals, but there was nothing when I was growing up. I hopped around, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Illinois. There was nothing. It was the people you find. That's who you kind of make your own little communities. So when I moved out here in 2020, I didn't hear about PIFA until 2021, 22. And then I volunteered. I helped sell water. And then the next year, when I was part of the Samoan Association, I helped one of the board of directors create the program book, which is like a giant yearbook. It's like 100 pages. And that was a lot of fun because my background is I work in advertising as a art supervisor. So they were like, can you help design? I was like, yeah, sure, I could do that. And then the next year, one of the board of directors stepped down because she moved away, Rita Gorniak, who I love her dearly. She was also part of the Samoan Association. And they were like, so a Samoan left. We need a Samoan on the board. Do you want to run? And I was like, uh, okay, no one knows me. I maybe know two people in the whole organization, and somehow I got in. I still to this day say it was a fluke, and I remember joining. I was like, oh my God, I should not be here. I'm not allowed to be here. What are they going to do with me? And it was just so warm and welcoming, and everyone was just happy for me to be there. And they all jokingly call me the young one, even though I'm in my 30s. But yeah, it is a nonprofit. Again, it's been around for 32 years. And yes, it started out as a festival, the name Pacific Islander Festival Association. We also do a lot of charitable events. We do scholarships. We've given away over $200,000 in scholarships, and it's mostly for those in San Diego County of Pacific Islander descent. But also, even if you're not, like let's say you're a part of a halau or you volunteer or your family is involved, we also give out service awards to those who are aligned with our values. And we also do a pageant, our Miss Pacific Islander of San Diego, and she is strong advocate for the younger generation. So we try our best. I would say I do feel strongly like I'm aligned with PIFA. Our whole mission is to uplift not only our own islands, but all islands. And I feel like it's a community where we try to highlight everybody as equally as we can. We know some voices are louder than others, but it's a space that is open to all. And I'm really hoping that people are taking note of what we're trying to do and they see that we are welcoming of all. I was so scared when I joined. I thought that everyone was going to be like that mean auntie and uncle chastising me for doing something not the right way. But there are just a bunch of loving goofballs. I don't know how to say it. Yeah. Everyone is just so warm and welcoming. And as someone who is trying to lead the marketing and media and various aspects, I want to just promote how much fun it is and that we would love for everyone to join us. And that's the whole mission, is just promote the culture as well as spread the culture and invite everyone in, regardless if you are Pacific Islander or not.
It's awesome. And Mackenzie, are you also involved with PIFA?
I love PIFA because I met Maya through PIFA. But yeah, I go to PIFA events and I volunteer and I help out where I can. They've been a big part of my life for so long because growing up in San Diego, they're probably the biggest association that I knew of. And I used to go to all the festivals when I was a little girl. And it was just so amazing to see our culture celebrated in such a big, huge way and learning about the different cultures as well. And, outside of my little oceanside family. So it was really nice to go to another big part of the city and see artists, craft makers, cooks, dancers, singers, like all these talented, incredible, loving people come together for this event. That's free. You don't get that very often. And the same way that even my kids, like they look at Moana, they see like, oh, that's like me. Like Moana's like me. That was me growing up with PIFA. PIFA was my way of going, oh my gosh, there's so many of us. This is amazing. And even the different generations and everyone's an auntie and uncle and mixed races too. That was such a beautiful thing to see, is how much our culture was being really promoted in like the most loving way. And I think my favorite thing though with PIFA, to be honest, are the first timers, the people that go to the festival for the first time or don't know much about the culture and they instantly fall in love with it. And I think that is one of the most beautiful things that you could see at PIFA is you just see their face light up when they take that first bite of food or they see that little girl come out in her handmade costume and dance to her brother or her uncle drumming in the back. When you are involved in your culture for so long, but then you get to experience it through somebody else's eyes for their first time, you're reminded of how special it is. And so, for those that have never been to PIFA,
That's me. I will make sure to come this year.
You have to come. It is so much fun. And like Mackenzie was saying, like just seeing the amount of people. And this is gonna sound so dumb, but when I came here, I was like, oh, I guess everyone just kind of sticks to their own. Like Hawaiians do their Hawaiian thing, Samoans do Samoan thing. And no, it's such a mix of everyone welcomed in all spaces. And what I love about PIFA is that everyone knows everyone. We have a wonderful board of directors, a lot of wonderful female leadership too. And they have all known each other for years and they know everyone else. So sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm trying to do this. I'm like, oh, I know who to call for you. There's 20 people in your corner already. And I think that's the most beautiful part of PIFA is you're not alone. And you're always in a boat with somebody else who's on the same journey. And that's how I met Mackenzie. I felt like our journeys were parallel. And so I was like, okay, let's share a boat. I don't know where we're going, but it's kind of fun.
Definitely one of those where it is the pride in the most beautiful way. Because, there's ugly pride and then there's this kind of pride. And watching everybody support one another, no matter what island they're representing too, it
Hmm.
is incredible. And I wish I would have brought in my girls last year, but I'm also glad that I got to experience it just like as a mom and as a Pacific Islander woman, just by myself. And now next year I'll take the kids and just soak it all up.
Here in Orange County, I've been involved in the past with Pacific Island Health Partnership. There's a lot of different organizations happening out here, but I find it overwhelming sometimes, not to lie. And so, for yourself, having done this for 3 years so far, it seems like it gives you a lot of energy, which is amazing. So, what makes you come back to it? Because it doesn't seem like it's easy work at all.
It's not. It can be very frustrating at times because you have a goal and you feel like your goal aligns with everybody, but sometimes they have their own, not agendas, but their own ideas of how to get to the goal. So it can be frustrating. And we're always so last minute about things. And, of all the things that I do as mother, a daughter, a wife, I do this for me. I feel like this is one of the few things that I can say, I want to do this for myself. I do this for the younger Maia who grew up in the middle of the Midwest trying to figure out her identity. And I do this for others I've also talked to who have no idea how to connect with their culture. So I feel such a warmth of relief and happiness when people reach out to me through PIFA or personally, and they're like, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that I found this. I'm glad that I feel like I found a community I belong to. And so I feel like that's what keeps me energized in addition to like 12 ice lattes that seemingly you go through. After our trip to Samoa, I had to like really cut back the caffeine. It was a lot.
I was like the opposite. I'm like, how do I keep up this momentum of caffeine?
But I don't know, it makes me feel whole, and it makes me feel like I'm me again. After all these different labels we get on as women, I feel like so many different pieces of us get taken away, especially being Pacific Islander women, that it's something that we can do for ourselves.
I like that because, that's sort of a theme I've been seeing in our conversation is this was for me. And, that's self-care. And especially growing up Pacific Islander, it's almost like if you're talking to me, it's almost like you're being selfish with each other, like
Mhm.
selfish, right? With your time. Like, and I've learned for myself too to be like, no, it's okay. Like, I can't be able to give to people if I can't be like full of energy and be able to give to myself so I can pour into others. And so I
Mhm.
love that you both feel that same way, but have you always thought this way when you were growing up?
No, definitely not. For me, it wasn't until I moved out here, I became a mom. I had such a hard time with my role. I didn't know where I was. I felt lost. I had a lot of postpartum anxiety, and I eventually had a therapist who I really wanted to reconnect more with my family, with my mom specifically. I love my mom. She is so strong. And to come here as an immigrant, raising two young girls as a single mom, and being Pacific Islander in the military, away from everybody she knows, I feel so much love and respect for her. But growing up, it wasn't easy. The Fa'a Samoa way is difficult in the States when you're not with a community. So after I gave birth, I was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. And my therapist was like, well, what about connecting with your mom? And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And she's like, well, try connecting more with your culture and maybe you'll find some things you have in common. And she also was like, maybe you should try doing nonprofit work. So I started doing that, not in the Pacific Islander space, but was through those things that now I feel like I know who I am. And that's what makes me feel like, okay, it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to take time for myself. And it's okay to be the best version of myself so I can give more to people in the best way I can.
That's awesome. How about yourself, Mackenzie?
Yeah. I've always been really good at putting myself last. And I think that is the Polynesian woman in me, the Tautua, the service, that making sure everyone's taken care of. I was raised that any guests we take care of first in our home and, you feed them, you welcome them, elders, aunties, uncles, making sure everyone's taken care of. And I struggled when my dad passed. So my dad passed when I was 19, so about 22 years ago. And he was my proof of being Samoan. He was my identity card and everything. And so when I lost him, And especially at 19, I'm in college. I'm like, how do I navigate this world without him? How do I navigate being Samoan if I don't have him to stand next to me to say, see, proof, I am who I am. And things started to unravel in our internal family, as some families do, when pride and certain things happen. I didn't really know a lot about Samoa, and there was some misdirection, I would call it, within my family of what that looks like.
Yeah.
So I stepped back. I didn't like it. I didn't agree with it. So I stepped away from the culture because I was being told this is what it is. And so I pulled myself away from it, and I started to rediscover the culture when I started cooking again, started baking. And I went down this journey of, okay, I'm going to figure this out on my own. I don't know who to trust. Do I need permission? Like, do I need to ask an elder? I'm the youngest of four. I'm female. How do I fit in this? And I was done asking for permission, done waiting around for somebody else to carry that torch in our family, and said, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. Even if I give 1% of myself back to my culture right now, because that's all I can give, it's something. And that's when I met Maya. And that's when that door opened up for me to say, I can do this. I can figure this journey out. I can bring people along with me that are feeling the same thing. I think that's the biggest message. I don't say I have regrets, but I have life lessons. And my life lesson is, even if all you can give back to your culture is 5 minutes of your time, even if it's 5 minutes within a year, it's still 5 minutes. It's still something. And don't think that you have to be all this or nothing. And even if you go to PIFA once a year, let's say you block out that one day to be that prideful person for your culture, you did it. That's okay. Like, you don't need to be 100% all in to claim your culture. Life is already busy and exhausting, and we are running off of fumes. But I agree with what you said, Non. I cannot pour from an empty cup. And the reason why I do this is for me. And I find myself to be in a better mental state when I have a little piece for me. And plus, my kids are learning from me that I am putting myself first, and they are at the age where they are noticing too. Like right now, I'm telling them to be quiet because I'm trying to do.
You're good. That's what life is. Never going to be perfect. Since we're talking about girls and you both have daughters, and so being afakasi, trying to understand your culture, what is it that you're trying to instill in your daughters?
Oh, so much. So much. It's hard because like the world's gonna try to tell them what to be and how to be. So it's like, okay, you're like racing against the clock to teach them things before they learn it from somebody else. As a Fakasi, as a mixed person, our journey and our stories will not be the same as our children, but we can, at least relate a little bit on some aspects of it. For my kids specifically, my husband's from India. He was born and raised in India, and he came here for college and we met. So my kids are half Indian and mixed white and Samoan, all with that. So I told my husband really early when my first daughter was born, she's 5 now, and I was like, you have to teach her your language. You have to teach her your culture. His parents don't speak English. His parents do come over and, they try their best to communicate with me and the girls. But I was like, if you want that connection, that is all on you. Because I feel like women are usually the ones who are being told to carry down the culture. And I was like, I can't do that for you. And that's something that my mom and I've talked about. I used to know the language. I wish she could have kept on it, but we are where we are. And he's tried so hard. And now my oldest does understand his language. And I love that. And she can speak with her grandparents. And I'm trying my best with my very limited knowledge of words that aren't cuss words or what I can teach her. But I love bringing her to Mackenzie's events. I love bringing her to PIFA. I have her in a halal now where she's learning different types of dances, and sometimes I have to force her or bribe her with food a little bit, but I'm just trying to give her all the opportunities and then she can pick from there. But I never want anyone to tell her you're not this, so you can't be that. So I tell her, as much as you are this, you are Indian, you are Samoan, you are American, you are who you are, and no one can take that away. It's hard, but I feel like, that's what I can do as a mom at this point to a 5-year-old and an almost 2-year-old.
It's beautiful.
Pretty much the same for me and my girls. I will always instill in them that you are someone. Like, there is no question. And there is space for you to learn in your own way whenever you're ready. No one's going to force you. And whether you choose to learn any part of this culture or not, you are still someone. There is no question. And I think that's the biggest thing because that was my struggle. It's like, if I don't know this, then I'm not. I thought I had to know all these skills in order to be Samoan, but it's like, no, like, I'm not a language person. I definitely do not do music. Oh my gosh. Dancing would be fantastic, but again, time. But I am always home. I am with the kids. I work from home, and food has always been my love language. It's how I show love. It's how I was raised to show love. Is you
Mhm.
make the plate, you serve the food, and then everyone gets it happy. And I was like, I want to be the reason why someone's face lights up. I always found food to be very therapeutic. Baking, it's you follow a process. You get to eat your feelings when you're done. And yeah, it was win-win.
Well, what you just said is important for the audience to know. We all find our own ways to
Mm,
be connected to our culture. And for you, food is what connects you to the culture. That the desire to learn, I think that's what makes it important to be
right.
Samoan.
And it's the same thing with me. If I'm not wanting to learn, I'm probably not going to retain the information. It's going to feel forced. So I'm learning how to cook and make certain things. If one of my daughters walks in and goes, "Oh, I want to learn to make this," I'll teach them, not a problem. But I'm not going to be like, "Get in the kitchen. You're going to learn this right now." If they came up to me and said, "I want to
Mhm.
learn to dance. I want to learn to speak," I'd be like, "Okay, well, I'm not going to be the teacher, but I'll do it with you. Like, if you
Mhm.
Mm.
want to take lessons, let's go do it. Let's do it together." And I am their cheerleader 100 million percent. But if they also want to learn a different culture, I'm also okay with that.
Yeah.
Harper is really she's 10 years old, and she's so into Japanese culture. Like, she's been learning the language, although she did tell me the other day, she's like, "Oh, mom, I want to start learning." And it's like a K-pop and all the songs. But I'm like, hey, if that is something she wants to learn, because I'm the same way. If my mind is not set to soak that information up, I'm not going to retain it. If there's zero interest, it's like growing up and someone saying you need to read Scarlet Letter. And I'm like, ugh. Like all these books we grew up trying to read and forced down our throat. I couldn't do
But
it.
there's also times where it just wasn't explained the way that people can understand it.
Right.
Mackenzie
Mhm.
and I, we talk about it all the time. They just yell at you, and then you're like, "What am I doing?" And they're like, "Go do it." And I'm like, "Go do what?" Like, how do I present the thing? And we were laughing about aunties gatekeeping their recipes, or when they do, they're like, just do that.
Sprinkle
And
this.
it's like
And we
that.
all, I'm a very visual learner. I need like a visual map. Like I even process map out my recipe sometimes. Like I need to draw arrows and flour goes in here with arrow. So I learn everyone learns differently. And so even going over to Samoa and learning, I brought my little thermometer, my laser gun, because I wanted to know how hot things got. Because I'm like, how do you know how long to put the palo santi on? And the guy puts his hand over the fire and goes, 15 minutes. And I'm like, what does that mean? What if it was 20 minutes? What if it was 30? I'm like, these are things that I'm trying to wrap my head around. Cousin sent me a recipe for sapasui. I'm like, how much soy sauce? And she goes, oh, until it's like this color brown. I'm like, what? What is that mean? Like super tan, not so tan? How
Mhm.
brown are we going? Maya, you're the one who brought it to realization for me when we were talking about that. Is the reason why they weren't written down was because of the language barrier. And writing was not something that took place in Samoa. And I didn't put two and two together. It wasn't a thing that I didn't realize until we were on the island.
I also think it's a generation thing. Our aunties were definitely just like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then I'm just like
Hmm.
coming home trying it myself. I was like, can I just have a real recipe? Because I need to measure
Yeah.
it out myself.
So I'm
Mhm.
trying to find the middle ground there. So these are things that I'm like, what do you mean a pinch or a scoop or a handful? Like even to this day, let's be honest, measuring rice and cooking rice, I still use the finger and the line to measure my rice. That's how it's taught.
Mhm.
Like, was it 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice? I don't know if that's true. I think the finger does.
Finger. Yeah.
Even to this day, that is how I'm teaching my kids.
I love that you're saying this because I just messed up the rice last night. I can't cook.
Maya, the same way. It took me a lot of time before I actually got the rice down. So you're not alone in that.
Thank you. Well, I think because my husband, he cooks and he does Indian food, and he's the opposite of you, Mackenzie. He's like, "Oh, I just do it until it looks right, until it tastes like
Yeah,
this."
I
And I'm
can't do
like,
it. I need
"No,
measurements.
yeah."
See, I need measurements to at least start out with. Like I need like at least the foundation recipe, and then I could elaborate and build and play around afterwards. But I just need to know like how is it made first, and then I'll zhuzh it up. However, I have a question just for people watching, and we could take another poll. But is it customary to use a broken handled coffee mug in the bag of Calrose? Like Nobody has like an actual measuring cup. It's always like the broken handled coffee mug. Because growing up, every
No,
house
The
I
agreed.
tin.
went to, it was always like this busted cup.
Yeah, mine is the broken plastic measuring cup. That's all it's used for.
Yeah. And it stays in the bag. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah, many different ways that you can tell you're an islander.
oh, yes.
I'm excited about the projects that you're creating for the Pacific Culinary Project.
We have some events coming up in Oceanside. August 4th, we're doing National Night Out with Oceanside Police Department. We're going to have our coconut scraping there. And then in September on the 27th, we're doing cookbook exchange. So you get to bring a cookbook, whether it's used, thrifted, brand new, whatever you want, and you leave with a different one. So it's just to spark conversation in food culture. We're also going to have a virtual appearance by Alana Kaiser, which is the cookbook author of Aloha Veggies and Aloha Kitchen. She's going to be talking a little bit about the Hawaiian food and how she's trying to also pass down the food culture within the islands. So she's going to be virtually present with us. So I'm so excited because I have both her cookbooks. And it's going to be at Belching Beaver Brewery. So a little beer. Ohana Street Bites is going to be there. So we're going to have Hawaiian food and just good times, good conversation. And PIFA's in September.
Is it just in San Diego or do you have events other places?
So we do a lot of our stuff in North County, Oceanside, because that's where our grant funding was from. I definitely want to take this as many places as possible. I am going to be taking a trip up to Oregon in September because there's a kalo farm there. And I found out about them on our way flying to Samoa. They were inside the airplane magazine, the Hawaiian Airlines. And I was like,
Oh,
there's
wow.
a kalo farm in Oregon? Oh my gosh, I need to go visit them and see how they're doing this because I want to grow it down here. The plan is to do many more wherever we can.
I'm excited for you, Mackenzie and Maya, with the Pacific Island Festival coming up soon. Maybe some additional
Mhm.
dates and any other events on the lookout for.
Yes, we have some upcoming ones. We have our Taste of the Pacific, which was how I met Mackenzie. It's a bunch of vendors. You come around and just do like the best bite that you've ever had, and you get to
Yum.
witness some local entertainment and just really like a community of people. That will be on July 23rd. If you're interested, tickets are selling on Eventbrite or just go on our website and you'll find more information. We have our PI Heritage Night at the Padres, August, I believe 21st or 22nd. That is so much fun. If you buy a ticket through a special link, not only do you get a ticket to the game, you also get a custom made jersey made by our very own
Oh,
Tatao, which is a amazing streetwear brand here in San Diego. I love their work. It's gorgeous. This year it's like a actual like baseball outfit. It has the tribal design and then huge, I believe hibiscus puas on there, and it's beautiful.
hmm.
So definitely get a ticket now or you might not get one in time because we sold out, I think, last year. And we also have an upcoming fundraiser at JJ Island Grinds, but that's here in San Diego. And that's on, I believe, the 28th of August. And then our festival, it is September 26th and 27th. It's always been at Ski Beach. Please come down. It is again, so much fun. Mackenzie will be selling some food. Last year,
Yeah.
she sold out like within 3 or 4 hours. So if you want some of Mackenzie's food, you've got to come early or you've got to reserve, you've got to fight somebody for that food because
I
it
got to
was,
figure out how to make more.
yeah, it was so good last year. I mean, people were fighting over it. So
Yeah.
Ooh.
definitely come for that. And I guess I just want to leave like a message that there is no one way, like we've all been talking about. There's no one way to be your culture. Just because someone tells you it doesn't mean it's true. Know your roots, find your family, connect with them, and even find your found family. And if you are at all interested in being more connected and learning about any culture, please join us. Come to an event or just reach out.
Okay.
I think we're really friendly. This is kind of like an open message of if you want to be friends, let's be friends. I think Mackenzie and I have had so much fun this past year just connecting. And she teaches me about food, eat all of her food, and then I teach her what I know. And I've just been very blessed that I have such a strong family and have such a strong support group here in San Diego with these wonderful women who have all told me, like, you can speak louder, you can be here. And I just feel like I know myself now, being with Mackenzie and even meeting with you, Nan, I just feel more whole every time. So please come if you have any
Yeah.
interest in joining.
I'll get back. I'm at a space in my life where I am just learning and growing every single day. And If that is you, if you're in a place where you're like, I want to learn, I want to know things, it's like, join us. We don't bite. We do like a good cocktail here and there. This is a space to learn and grow. Or maybe you just need that little kick in the butt. We'll help you.
A message you've always said, Mackenzie, that we're trying to teach, but we're also students. And if anyone really could film us, we are wrong so many times and we are just figuring it out. And I think that's the best part about life. We don't really understand everything about our culture, but we're trying and we ask questions. And what's more to life than that?
If you come to like Maya and I and you ask a question and we don't know the answer, we'll find out together. We're both kind of like golden retrievers in that sense where we're like, let's find out. Okay, well, I don't know. Do you know? Okay, well, I think I know somebody who knows. And then we start texting, we start messaging people, and then it just grows and grows and grows. And I was most scared of going over to the islands. I was scared to ask the wrong question or do the wrong thing. I would say the word incorrectly because in social media, let's be honest, social media, people correct you like, that's not how you pronounce it. It's this. And I'm like, oh my God, sorry. Like, that's how I was. Well, that's how I was raised. Sorry. But over in the island, they will correct me, but in the most loving way. And they'll sit there like, oh, like playing bingo. Okay, one, your aunt was very patient with me. It's in Samoa.
So
And so
funny.
I'm trying to understand and the way that they are so gentle and so loving because they see that you are trying to learn the right way. And that is by doing and asking. And now I'm not afraid to ask. And if I ask somebody and they're kind of rude back, then I'll just go find somebody else to teach me. It's as simple as that.
You have to find your community of people.
Yeah. Do not stop asking. Do not stop learning. Whatever path you're on, freaking go for it.
Agree. I was going to make a terrible joke. Part 2, going back to the islands, bingo night edition. We're filming it. We're going to win this time. I want all the wahoo.
I'm telling you though, I just don't want to piss off grandma.
And we'll tell everyone, go to the Ili Ili church for bingo.
We could find a bingo. I mean, there's Samoan churches here that do their bingo.
I'm trying to find a space right now. I have my tentacles out, but I'm trying to plan one that is like you win food
Fun.
like you win a pan of pani popo.
But it has to be
There.
realistic. It has to be like kids running around slapping down the papers, all in Samoan, going too fast, someone doing your papers for you.
What do they call those things?
The daubers?
Daubers, yes. We should make this girls' night out. Bingo and some drinks.
In a women's group.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
All right, Maya.
Okay, we're gonna workshop it. This group right here. We're gonna get together.
I would love to. I'm so glad this happened. Thank you for being part of Dear Suga. I feel like this is the beginning of something great. They statistically say that women our age, it's hard to make friends. The two have come together to show that this is a true testament that friendships are able to be formed. So thank you again for taking the time to do this.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for the space that you've created. And thank you just for being so welcoming and warm. And I had so much fun. I love this. You know, the whole process. I'm very nervous. Like I said, I don't like talking about myself, but this was fun.
Yay, I'm glad so.
Conversations like this one with Maia and Mackenzie are the whole reason Dear Suga exists. So if you have a girlfriend or a sister who'd love this, I hope you can share with her. And I'm so excited to share our website is up and running, dearsuga.com. I hope you get to check it out. This is about creating space for us to listen with alofa and grow with mana. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been with me, thank you for growing this with me. So until next time, I look forward to welcoming you in our next episode.